the hearing date. For the record, Delegate.
Way to get your bill to pass.
Oh,
Especially after you begged for the bill to be delayed a week. But go ahead, your turn.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Vice Chair, members of the House Economic Matters Committee, and you're right, I actually did ask for that. For the record, Delegate Julian Ivey here presenting House Bill 998. Very simple bill. What it does is it studies diminished value within the auto insurance industry. So each of us have car insurance or auto insurance, if you have a vehicle specifically, and you purchase the insurance at a specific price. Your vehicle is valued at $30,000. You get into a car crash. Now it's worth $26,000. This bill would have the Maryland Insurance Administration conduct a study to look into best practices and if we should make changes here in the state of Maryland. I am joined by my friend Tony Morgan here to speak on this legislation. There were some amendments proposed by the Maryland Insurance Administration. I view them as favorable amendments, and I hope that we can move this bill favorably. Thank you.
Good afternoon, esteemed members of the Economic Matters Committee. My name is Tony Morgan, and as CEO of Check Claims and a representative of Marylanders for Diminished Value Claims, I'm here today to express my support for the proposed Maryland Insurance Administration study on insurance companies' practices related to diminished value claims. However, I do have some concerns about the MIA's bias toward Maryland auto insurance carriers. This bias has resulted in consumers receiving less compensation than they're entitled to, and also goes against the original purpose by which this body created the administration. As such, the study should prioritize the public interest and address several key issues. One issue is the MIA's requirement that consumers hire lawyers to represent them while allowing insurance companies to be represented by non-lawyer advocates. This practice is unfair and puts the consumers at a disadvantage. The study should also recommend a regulation to prohibit it. Insurance companies also apply arbitrary caps to diminished value claims, which can be far less than a claimant's actual loss. This reduces payments to claimants, and the study should recommend regulations that forbid this practice as well. Additionally, the MIA must re-examine its own Charles Furlong versus state auto insurance ruling to ensure regulatory consistency in handling diminished value claims. The study also should focus on key players in Maryland, such as State Farm and USAA, and their potential negative impact on the public welfare.
I would like you to go ahead and just explain. That's kind of a bold thing to say, so I'd like you to finish that statement. Their negative impact on the public welfare. Go ahead.
It's been my. Should I finish my statement or respond to that? Okay. Ongoing monitoring and regulation are necessary to ensure insurance companies conduct business in an ethical and transparent way, and more importantly, that the citizens of Maryland are safeguarded against any wrongful practices. Finally, the study should evaluate Georgia's framework and consult with consumer advocates and all relevant stakeholders to ensure transparency and fairness. I urge this committee to put the public interest first. If you have any questions, thank you for your time and consideration, and I would like to respond to any questions you have now.
You know where you stopped him. Can he back that up?
Oh, I was getting ready to.
Oh, you was going to do it?
Okay, you are. Basically, you were talking about State Farm and USA and the negative impact they're having on our community. I would like you to elaborate on that because that's, an allegation. I'd like to hear
It's just been my experience in working with those two companies, and there are others, but it's been my experience that they have not been transparent or fair in settling diminished value claims. I would give you an example with USAA. USAA places an arbitrary cap on their diminished value claims, and also applies a non-transparent formula, and they use a third party in order to resolve their diminished value claims.
And I guess because I'm a plaintiff's attorney, and I understand sometimes we have to hire our own individuals if we disagree with the claim, which is easily done. And I was wondering if there was any statistics or anything that you could provide, not now, but at some point for this committee for these arguments that you're laying out, because it does sound like kind of bald accusations versus if you have some specificity, which you could lay these claims out, it'd be a lot easier for us to understand more in the direction you're going and what it is you're looking for.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
If I may, I asked for a favorable report as amended with the amendments submitted by MIA. And I
No, I
really
understand that,
appreciate
but
your
I was trying to get to the
I
root
understand.
of when colleagues bring a
Yes.
bill, we understand that there may be a problem, and I want to
Yes.
identify what that problem was, one, and two, what our possible solutions would be. But in order to identify that problem, sometimes the problems need to be laid out with specificity.
Sure.
So what I would ask, if in time, and again, time is of the essence, some statistics to demonstrate what the problem is in Maryland, what the unfair, what the disadvantage to the citizens is, versus, hey, I don't like this, let's study it, because we have a limited amount of time, obviously a limited amount of money. Want to make sure we're moving in good faith. So that would be my ask, some actual background statistics to back up the complaints that you personally have, sir.
Well, based on the National Insurance Commission, Commissioner, Mariners lose about $200 million a year in diminished value claims and in diminished value losses. And if based on our experience as CEO of Check Claims, we have settled hundreds of diminished value claims, and the outliers appear to be State Farm and USAA. And so it's based on our own individual statistics. I can't speak to how you as a plaintiff lawyer or...
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm sure there's something more than just your own personal experiences. Yes. And if you could provide any information that you may have to demonstrate how in other states this vehicle would be worth this much if lost, but in Maryland it's only worth this much. Or there's got to be something more than just bald accusations. Correct. As to them not doing the right thing. That's what I would like to see. Thank you. Are there any other questions from any of my colleagues? Delegate Turner, did I answer it? Thank you very much. Colleagues, any questions? I believe we do have Derek Carrington, I don't believe is here. What about Brenda Pennington? She's on. Go ahead, just a virtual witness.
Yes. Can you hear me? Yes. Good afternoon. My name is Brenda Pennington, and I'm the principal attorney at the Pennington firm. As the former People's Counsel for the District of Columbia and a practicing attorney representing clients in Maryland, I'm writing to express my strong support for the proposed study on diminished value by the Maryland Insurance Administration. A comprehensive study on diminished value by the MIA is necessary to ensure consumers receive fair, unbiased treatment and to ensure that insurance companies are held accountable. As an attorney who has represented many complainants vis-a-vis insurance companies, I have seen firsthand the challenges consumers face in seeking fair compensation for their losses. A study on diminished value, including the make, model of the vehicle, the severity of the accident, and the location of the accident, will be information that can be very helpful in leveling the playing field for consumers, as well as ensuring consumers receive fair compensation for their losses. In conclusion, I strongly urge the Economics Committee to support the proposed study on diminished value by the MIA, as it is an important step to ensure consumers receive fair treatment. Thank you for your consideration of my testimony this afternoon.
Ma'am, thank you very much for your testimony. Seeing no questions for yourself or your panel, I believe this ends the bill hearing. I don't see any more witnesses. Thank you guys very much for your time. Thank you for the presentation. Colleagues, thank you guys very much for attending. And I think we're good. I don't know if there are any subcommittee meetings that were announced, but otherwise, please, as you know, be on time on the floor so we don't get yelled at by Madam Speaker. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your lunch.